2018 Land Rover Range Rover Review. The good points of Land Rover Range Rover: wide engine range, luxury materials and ride, off-road ability, extensive personalization. The bad points of Land Rover Range Rover: road-focused 4x4's handling better, expensive long wheelbase model, feels enormous to operate a vehicle, lackluster 3.0-liter petrol. The Range Rover SUV's evolution from countryside workhorse to luxury transport for society's well-oiled elite means there's more scope for customization than we'll be able to really need. There are some trim levels, 2 wheelbase lengths, 3 sorts of powertrain, or a supercar baiting SV autobiography dynamic model. A Range Rover for all forms of driver. It's a lineup that rivals such as the Audi Q7, Bentley Bentayga and Porsche Cayenne can't hold a candle to. But will it be the best luxury SUV available? Supreme on-road comfort? Think Range Rover and you'll naturally create a huge SUV yomping around an estate country, instead of housing, but on tarmac is the place where the modern car finds its home. Cassetting air suspension, thick glass windows and massive armchair seats result in the Range Rover a supremely comfortable car they are driving and be driven in. If aforementioned is more the street, you'll want the long wheelbase car using its executive class rear seating, including powered recline, massage function and fridge at the center console. Still epic off-road? That said, it's good to understand that if you need to take a shortcut across a boggy field, the Range Rover has you covered there too. Land Rover's Terrain Response 2 system lets you select which terrain you're on, therefore it can tune the mini systems for you personally, or you can let it sit up to its devices in automatic mode. Gadgets like all-terrain progress control, off-road cruise control and hill descent control make light work of obstacles. Along with the Range Rover can wade in water nearly 900 mm deep. Massive choice of engines. You've got the choice of 2 diesels, 3 petrols along with a plug-in hybrid as part of your Range Rover. All of these we've detailed inside Performance section. At opposite ends with the scale, the SV autobiography version relies on a supercharged V8. As you move, the P400e plug-in hybrid combines a 300 horsepower 4-cylinder Ingenium petrol engine that has a 116 horsepower electric motor. Powering aforementioned is a 13.1 kWh lithium-ion battery, meaning an overall system production of 404 horsepower and 640 Nm of torque. The verdict: luxury, image, presence. The Range Rover SUV has all this. A plug-in hybrid model plus more glamorous interior added for 2018 means there's now a model to the environmentally conscious too. Relatively economical diesel V6, torquey petrol and diesel V8s, impressive hybrid all-rounder. Land Rover says the Range Rover's performance is just as good off of the road as it's on it. The aim of this 4x4 would be to provide a truly refined, luxurious drive traveling, while remaining effective at tackling one of the most difficult off-road terrain. As such, you've got the option of 2 diesels and 3 petrol engines, including trad Jag V8s, newer V6s, high-performance SV autobiography models along with a plug-in hybrid. Diesel engines. Land Rover bolstered the diesel lineup on this latest Range Rover by introducing a 3.0-liter, 6-cylinder motor alongside a few 4-liter V8, 3.0-liter TDV6. The entry diesel engine can be less powerful than its 8-cylinder stablemate, but 258 horsepower and 600 Nm of torque allows the 6-patch Range Rover to waft along with an admirable clip, terminating at 130 miles per hour. It's in regards to seconds slower from 062 miles per hour, taking 8 seconds, but it's and a lot lighter, so its performance never really feels dwarfed from the larger unit. The obvious saving we have found economy, but it's not on the cost of performance. There may be always enough pulling power on account of maximum torque going to 2000 revolutions per minute. Off-road it never usually lack power, whether driving over sand dunes or working its high rocky slopes, while on-road motorway cruise vacations are swift and stress-free. Overtaking is not an issue, although power fades since the red line approaches, so there's daft ringing this motor out. 4.4-liter SD V8. On paper the V8 could be the faster on the two diesel units, taking 6.9 seconds to sprint from 062 miles per hour, and topping out at 135 miles per hour. It packs a more impressive punch in riding, as a result of 339 horsepower and 740 Nm of torque. The difference to your V6 diesel isn't so noticeable out on the highway. The performance gap feels smaller compared to its near whole second advantage indicates. Where the V8 does feel quicker plus more muscular is at the top in the rev range. It's extremely refined and quiet, with torque generated coming from a low down 1750 revolutions per minute. This isn't an engine with the budget conscious, or those seeking scandalous performance. However, if you want fuss-free acceleration, supreme drivability and also a huge reserve of power, the V8 diesel can be a peerless all-rounder inside the Range Rover lineup. Petrol engines. If ever there seemed to be a sign of diesel's waning popularity, it had been the introduction of a V6 petrol Range Rover. This joins the long-standing V8, containing also been beefed up to get a special performance model. 3.0-liter supercharged V6. The V6 supercharged petrol engine delivers 340 horsepower, about the same as being the V8 diesel, but only 450 Nm of torque, and that is substantially less. As you'd expect, the 062 miles per hour time is between that in the V6 and V8 diesels at 7.4 seconds, plus the top speed is 130 miles per hour. While it's not the slowest engine you might have in a Range Rover, the facility delivery much cheaper than muscular than either diesel option or V8 petrols. That means the V6 should be worked challenging to keep pace with within the case of either diesel cheaper stablemates. In a luxury car, that's quite annoying. That said, at lower revving nature in the V6 petrol helps it be noticeably quieter than its diesel alternative. If you don't perform the annual mileage to justify a diesel and don't mind compromising on power delivery, the V6 petrol is really a fine choice. 5.0-liter supercharged V8. This is often a lot of engine, therefore delivers a great deal of performance. The 062 miles per hour time dips to 5.4 seconds, 5.5 within the long wheelbase car, even though the top speed is bound to 155 miles per hour. That's largely into the 525 horsepower and 625 Nm of torque this motor produces, offering a deep well of power from surprisingly low down inside the rev range. While it's a refined engine moving around, externally you can anticipate a menacing burble at low speeds and also a bassy roar that builds with acceleration. SV Autobiography Dynamic. This model uses a similar 5.0-liter V8 but power levels boosted to 565 horsepower and 700 Nm, therefore it's breathtakingly fast and distinctly more purposeful in voice. That power hike shaves 3/10 from the 062 miles per hour, to put it briefly, in long wheelbase forms, while top speed remains artificially pegged at 155 miles per hour. If you need the ultimate in Range Rover performance, look no further. Plug-in hybrid model. replacing the last conventional hybrid Range Rover. The P400e plug-in hybrid combines a 300 horsepower four-cylinder Ingenium petrol engine having a 116 horsepower electric motor. Powering the second is a 13.1 kWh lithium-ion battery, meaning a complete system production of 404 horsepower and 640 Nm of torque. This results in a very particularly potent 0-60 mph period of 6.8 seconds, beaten only with the V8 petrol Range Rover, and top speed of 137 mph. You can make use of the petrol and electric motors in parallel or perhaps pure EV mode, in which particular case the P400e can manage 31 miles when fully charged. This'll take 7.5 hours with a domestic 3-pin plug. Having the top speed of 85 mph, the hybrid system are able to use the vehicle's sat-nav to see when to use electricity, but there's a manual battery save override too whenever you're driving outside an urban area. Automatic gearbox only. There's no manual option, exactly the 8-speed automatic transmission, which combines smooth shifting and altogether quick responses. If the automobile box isn't quick enough for you personally, there are tire-mounted paddles as standard, but we found the better left to its very own devices. Previous engines. The Range Rover once was sold having a conventional hybrid powertrain combining the 3.0-liter V6 diesel engine using a battery-powered electric motor, totaling 354 horsepower and also a towering 700 Nm of pulling power, to hurl it from 0-62 mph in an impressive 6.9 seconds. 3 selectable driving modes included electric motor only, diesel engine only, or both together. The car may be left to its devices and switch between 3 modes automatically. On the street, it had been just as quiet and powerful as being the regular diesel Range Rover. The brakes were just a little abrupt, and there was clearly a very slight hesitation within the power delivery, though the FEV otherwise had the identical imperiously smooth driving characteristics since the rest in the range. It was only as able to ride too, and although the battery was mounted for the base with the vehicle, the floor clearance is unchanged. Lightweight bodywork and suspension. Loads of tech to assist it on and off-road. Terrain response to tackles tricky surfaces. On road. Despite its size, the Range Rover uses an aluminum body, where there's plenty on the lightweight componentry used within the standard air suspension. There's a lot of tech at the job. Adaptive dynamic stampers monitor vehicle movements as much as 500 times in additional to ensure a composed ride, while dynamic response only on V8 cars lessens the amount of body lean. In fact, there exists little lean even if turning sharply. What a very noticeable difference on the old model. At low speeds the steering is nicely weighted and changing into tight roundabouts is surprisingly easy despite what seems a sizable car. At higher speeds there may be little feel from your steering, though the response to any steering inputs is quick enough. It can be a big improvement, although not as road performance focused, consequently rivals because Porsche Cayenne. Off-road Range Rover capability. This, unsurprisingly, can be an area the place that the Range Rover excels. Land Rover has numerous years of experience with regards to plowing new furrows off-road and tests its vehicles through the freezing cold of Sweden on the arid sand dunes of Dubai. That means it's more than effective at traversing a muddy campsite or horse trials car park. Again, there's an awful lot of tech by way of thinking here. The main component is Land Rover's Terrain Response 2 system, standard on almost base-spec Evoque cars, which monitors the top huron and optimizes the auto's engine, gearbox, center differential and chassis. There are 7 settings: general driving, grass, gravel, snow, mud and ruts, sand, and rock crawl. There's also a vehicle mode that works all of it out for you personally. Lastly, it is possible to pick from comfort and dynamic in post-2017 facelift cars. Secondly, there's all-terrain progress control, but not on the plug-in hybrid, which is really a sort of off-road cruise control. It maintains speed between 1 mile per hour and 18 miles per hour, so you'll be able to concentrate on getting a clear path. Low traction launch allows you to pull away easily on low friction surfaces, while hill descent control makes short work of steep descents by maintaining consistent speed available for you. The last gadget may be the optional weight sensing assistant. This allows you to crossing standing water through the use of sensors from the door mirrors to measure depth. The Range Rover can drive in water around 900 mm deep. On the sand dunes where we tested the Range Rover, the four-wheel drive always found grip, including in deep sand, and also the hill descent control is incredibly effective in providing a simple way to tackle steep drops. The low-range gearbox is great for tackling very gnarly rock-strewn riverbeds, as well as the tide-turning circle is great for watching through narrow gaps. Plug-in hybrid off-road. Land Rover reckons the Range Rover is better yet off-road as opposed to conventional car due to its greater torque from standstill, enhancing low-speed control and pull-away on low grip surfaces. Terrain response too is tweaked due on the electric motor's maximum torque from 0 RPM, and also the weighting depth is unchanged. Reduced switch count means absence of clutter. New 10-inch touchscreen is a bit more responsive. High-quality materials used throughout. Think Starship Enterprise meets Harrods. Although models built after 2018 have experienced the number of buttons and switches continues to be reduced by around 50%. There's a rotary controller and 10-inch wide format touchscreen in the heart and the most popular functions, and also a 12.3-inch virtual instrument panel, which replaces the analog dials, and brings features like sat-nav and media information. The controls hosts 2 pods of controls, with one governing the cruise control, plus the other accessing your vehicle's various functions, for example audio, telephone, etc. Touch Pro Duo screen. New for 2018 can be a Touch Pro Duo screen, comprising 2 high-definition 10-inch touchscreens within the center console, an arrangement first seen for the Range Rover Velar. You will surely have sat-nav info on one, while more functional tasks such as climate control could be held about the other. A next-generation head-up display system runs on the 10-inch full-color projector for information like vehicle speed and directions, which appear like they're hovering in the evening windscreen to cut back the need to refocus up your eyes. Also added would have been a gesture-controlled sunblind, opened and closed by way of a swipe of the hand. Commanding driving position. The quintessentially upright stature called command driving position in Range Rover speak means you have a good view round the car as well as its surroundings. This is usually beneficial for off-roading. Just about all offers you an excellent view on asphalt too, making the Range Rover's cabin feel lavish and safe, high up above the rest on the traffic. Aiding your view out could be the low-profile bonnet and proximity on the driving seat towards the door. This causes it to be easy to lean away from to aid parking maneuvers. High-quality cabin materials. Regardless of trim or wheelbase, the Range Rover comes loaded with luxury natural materials, for instance soft leathers, semi-nylon in high-grade cars, and warm woven ears. In contrast to the telltale or the highly polished metal details, that happen to be cool on the touch and brighten the cabin, and feature within the sight on the center console, kid shifter and air vents. You can pick to light the cabin with interior LED lighting in 10 colors, plus there's a panoramic roof fixed as standard, sliding for any fee. SV Autobiography dynamic and long wheelbase are the final Range Rovers. For maximum opulence or performance you desire either the long wheelbase or dynamic models, each offering an uplift in cabin quality and luxury. This comes inside form of diamond quilted leather, grand black door veneers and tons of knurling added to your various switches and shifters. Pick the SV Autobiography Dynamic so you get a Larry looking red keyline that can help it jump out against the conventional car. Air suspension is more preferable on rough roads. Huge numbers of interior space offered. Supremely comfortable seats within the front or back. Redesigned front suspension is alleged to be better at absorbing smaller bumps that normally upset the ride in an air setup, much like the one used through the Range Rover. We certainly thought it wafted nicely over UK roads, but felt slightly less composed when compared with something lower and sleeker as being a Mercedes-Benz class. Seat comfort is fashionable strong point, having an optional massage function offering 5 programs for driver and passenger, and also 12-way electronic adjustment and heating, along with the 2 outer rear seats could be reclined. The front seat frame was widened in 2018 with deeper foam cushioning, along with the controls happened to be moved towards the door panel for simplicity. Top-of-the-range semi-nylon leather front seats feature 24-way adjustment, alongside integrated climate and hot stone massage function. You can make softer, winged headrests, plus extra adjustability inside seat back for those inside front, called upper seat articulation. The massage function now features 14 cells in each seat, offering an even more varied and relaxing massage than before. It's a nice cabin too on account of 6 mm thick glass minus 20% in excess of before, that can help keep out wind and road noise. Lots of interior space. As a considerable 4x4, the number of interior space is impressive. There can be a lot of space for both back and front passengers including increased leg, shoulder and head room. While the inclusion of leather and wood add for the feeling of top quality, the inner layout is usually designed to provide enhanced amounts of comfort. There is a good amount of room for 4 adults. The central seat within the rear will not be great for a mature for long journeys. A rear seat entertainment package 8.0-inch headrest mounted screens or 10-inch HD foldaway versions may also be specified, which displays Satan of information, in addition to television and includes 2 wireless headphones. Party from the front, business inside the rear. For the supreme indulgence you'll want the rear executive class seats option, which might be added to SV Autobiography long wheelbase, Autobiography and Vogue same models. These 2 individual powered seats feature wider seat frames, deeper foam and also a new design geared towards mimicking a wraparound lounge-like interior. There's fashionable memory setting, powered headrests, rear center console armrest, cushion adjustments, massage function and 40-degree recline. All seat functions could be controlled by way of a smartphone app, whether inside or outside the car. The middle pew houses a particular console featuring all of the controls as well as an optional cooler compartment, which may now be moved for the touch of your mouse to make space at the center footwell, and enabling passengers to exit from either side with the vehicle. When in make use of this provides a home for drinks and items. A passenger seat away function does what its name suggests. Dismissing the top left chair check there's nobody in first as a way to extend rear occupant space. Long wheelbase car offers extra room. While legroom within the standard car isn't exactly tight, there's a supplementary 186 mm inside the long wheelbase car, plus seat backs that recline a little more forward, that provides the pinnacle of comfort within a Range Rover. Powered tables and side door blinds are standard, rogues for limousine-style privacy, as can be a rear center console with bottle fridge to maintain your vintage champagne cool. 3 standard trims, plus long wheelbase. SV Autobiography Dynamic Performance Model. Well equipped in the off with limitless options. If you want to find out the definition of bewilderment, will then be just look on the Land Rover Range Rover equipment list. You are lulled right into a false sense of security with just 3 trim levels: Vogue, Vogue Say and Autobiography. Standard equipment. Vogue standard equipment is made of terrain response. It won't come together with the auto mode, a powered split rear tailgate, automatic windscreen wipers, back and front parking sensors, front cooler compartment in central console, 8-inch centrally mounted touchscreen, Bluetooth connection, DAB radio, digital TV, metallic paint and Satan for both donned off-road. Vogue Say adds adaptive cruise control, terrain response 2 has the motorcar mode that operates out the off-road conditions and adapts the 4-wheel drive system to suit, upgraded modern audio system, touchscreen technology with dual view so passenger can watch TV while driver are able to see the Satan of, soft door close, heated and cooling front seats, powered recline on rear seats, laminated rear door and quarter light glass helps further reduce road and wind noise, and auto headlights rich in beam assist that automatically dips the primary beam if detects traffic ahead. Autobiography may be the top trim, and yes, it adds a panoramic sunroof with powered blind, collection of 21-inch or 22-inch alloys, addition of massage function on front seats, heated front controls, powered lumbar adjustment for rear outer passenger seats, blind spot monitoring with reverse sensing and surround camera system that is great for trailer towing, and illuminated aluminum scuff plates. Land Rover Range Rover accessories. There really are a claimed 18,000 options plus to personalize your Range Rover, so locating something to match your tastes needs to be possible. Colors and design. There are 16 interior color schemes to pick from, plus several veneer finishes and in many cases 3 rooflining colors. You can exercise your artistic bent towards the tune of 15 different colors, including metallics and contrasting roof colors. The Autobiography trim grows cautious 22 colors, including a chroma flare finish which changes color depending within the light. Just when you're thinking that's it, it is possible to choose which kind of finish for door handles, side vents, door and bumper accents. There are 7 alloy designs to pick from, including 20-inch approximately major bling 22-inch alloys. Optional equipment. The panoramic roof is merely standard around the Autobiography, also it really helps make the cabin feel light and airy. The powered blind helps to ensure that bright sun might be kept out if needs be. Alloy wheel upgrades and tire pressure monitoring systems can be found, as is usually a full-size spare wheel. Other options to tick are Park Assist, which assists steer the car in a parallel parking space. The whole-on modern audio system with 1,700 watts of power and rear seat entertainment put in place with touch screens inside the back from the front seat headrests provided with 2 wireless headphones. For those looking for your ultimate way to travel, you can find the rear executive seats using the central bench seat being replaced, having a flowing central console that houses a very nice box plus the controls to the powered rear seats. 5-star Euro NCAP rating. Load of safety tech added for 2018. Driving position is high above traffic. The Range Rover SUV was awarded the most 5 stars by Euro NCAP and features myriad safety systems, including a full array of airbags like curtain, thorax, passenger and driver. There are many electronic systems designed that can help prevent accidents whether on or off-road, including a rear-view camera, lane departure warning, emergency braking, front and back parking sensors, cruise control and speed limiter as standard. The Drive Pack adds a blind spot monitor, adaptive speed limiter and traffic sign recognition. Drive Pro Pack enhances this rich in speed emergency braking, blind spot assist and lane keep assist. The adaptive cruise control with Q assist runs on the forward-looking camera and improved radar system. There is a trailer stability control designed to assist prevent fishtailing, plus there's a surround camera system so you may literally keep an eye around the trailer and it is load. Plenty of interior and boot space. Several storage boxes inside the auto. Activity key included 2018. The Range Rover has always majored on practicality as a result of its anywhere ability, roomy cabin and huge boot. The front cup holders may be slid to reveal a deep closet, plus there's a cubby box with double-level hinged tray. A lockable glove box provides enhanced security, and you will get this compartment cooled as a possible option. Front and rear door bins hold large 1.5-liter bottles and long wheelbase models have an even larger rear cubby box. Up front passengers get 2 USBs, an HDMI and 12-volt connection points from the front console cubby box, as well as a 12-volt socket inside the glove box and also a USB point within the stowage area beneath the cup holders. In the back you get 2 12-volt charging points, a domestic plug socket, and a couple USB and HDMI points, whilst the load space also houses a 12-volt and also a second domestic plug socket. Long wheelbase models also experience an additional USB charge point inside the storage box in the rear and the center console. Land Rover's activity key was added towards the Range Rover in 2018, enabling the locking and unlocking in the car by way of a waterproof wristband. While the Range Rover SUV is really a very big car that may challenge all but essentially the most capacious parking bays, it's not overly wide so that you won't possess drama on roads that has a white line on the middle. The boot is very large with 909 liters of luggage space that grows to your massive 2030 liters with the corner seats down. There are remote switches inside the boot too to quickly develop a flat load space. Land Rover even offers an electronically deployable tow bar for the new Range Rover together with roof rails to repair a roof box or cycle carriers too. You receive a split tailgate as standard, together with the bottom section serving as a seat, and this might be optionally opened by gesture control. Remote intelligent seat fold technology means you are able to move the first and second row by way of a smartphone app. That means it is possible to fold them flat while queuing in John Lewis for the massive sideboard.